Hey everybody, I'm Dr. Diane Hayden, publisher of Essential Naples magazine and Natural Nutmeg magazine, and I am here today with Jake Berman from Berman Physical Therapy, and he has been advertising with us down in Naples for a little over 2 years, I think now, and he's been getting some awesome results. So I wanted to get Jake on a little video here so we could just chat a little bit about his experience. And what was interesting is when I first met you, Jake, you were extremely skeptical and gave me a super hard time about advertising. It was funny. In fact, I had another one of my advertisers. We were at a health fair, and I had another one of my advertisers who was getting amazing results. Like 60% of her clients were coming from the magazine, and she was right there telling you that. And you were like, yeah, no, that's not going to work for me. So just tell us, like, why were you skeptical? Like, what had happened in the past when maybe you tried something like this or, heard about it?
Oh man, that is a loaded question. The easiest or the quickest answer to it is I've advertised in multiple local magazines since I started back in 2015, and none of them gave me a return on investment. I'm I'm I don't think I can honestly say that every single magazine that I've advertised in prior to this, less than one hand of as far as clients gotten from it. So extremely skeptical. And that, it's always this contract. You have to do it at a minimum of 12 months. And you're paying significant money every single month to be in this magazine. And they're saying it's being delivered to all these places. And the phone's not ringing. Nothing's happening from it. And I'm going, this is literally the same advertising that I'm doing on 17 other platforms, and I'm getting a return on investment from these other platforms. What's wrong with this? It's not getting seen. Is the only thing that I could think of, or it's the wrong demographic, whatever it was. Nothing was good about my experience prior to this. So yeah, I was extremely skeptical and I didn't want any part of it because I'm traditionally a direct marketer, meaning that I need to be able to see in real time how much return on investment I'm getting from my marketing dollars. So if I spend $1,000 to get X amount of leads, I better be able to see in a good amount of time that, okay, this was a good return on investment or it's not, versus traditional branding, which most magazines are, is just brand awareness versus direct call to action. So there's a long answer to the short question. How's that?
No, it's good because I think it explains your experience. And, I think there's a lot of people out there. Believe me, you're not the first person who I've had this conversation with, of course. Like, there's a lot of people out there who've tried it or heard that, it didn't work or negative things, don't waste your money, that kind of thing. And I think you hit the nail on the head when you said demographic. Like almost everyone I've talked to who has done like some type of a local publication, it's like, you know, a magazine that's like a lifestyle related magazine focused more on entertainment maybe, or a town magazine focused more on news or things like that. And it's just our demographic of, more a more holistic, a more natural type therapy person is looking for something where they don't have to do surgery or other invasive procedures. Those That demographic is who's picking up our magazine Essential Naples. And that's why I think our advertisers get such a good response and get a fast response, because it is the right demographic that you're trying to reach. I think that's the key for sure. So you started with us, and you mentioned like having to get into a long-term contract, and I usually recommend to people, yeah, I think it takes 6 to 12 months sometimes to start generating good response. It depends. Every business is different. But I remember with you, we were kind of like, all right, let's do one issue and let's see what happens. And you wrote an article for us, two articles actually, because you really have two businesses, your physical therapy business and also your golf business. And so you wrote two articles for us along with your ads. And if you remember, a couple of years ago, what happened?
The phone rang.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's that simple. I'll never forget the first time the first person called and I said, I always ask every single person that calls, before we even get into the call about what they're calling about, I said, by the way, how'd you hear about me? And they said, a magazine. I'm going, I'm only in one magazine, and there's no way that this is actually happening right now. I said, what magazine? And they finally spit it out, Essential Naples, and I'm going, you've got to be effing kidding me. No way. I just got a phone call from a magazine advertisement. This is insane. And that's been a regular occurrence where it's not uncommon for people to call me now from seeing my articles in Essential Naples. So that's been one of the more enjoyable things and confirming the return on investment for it.
Yeah, and that's great. And I think it's a combination of a couple things that we do. Obviously, the ability to write, you have articles in every publication that we do. And that's huge because it builds the trust factor. People really get to know who you are, the style of how you practice, all of that, which is really important in getting people to pick up the phone faster and also trusting that you can provide a service that can help them. And the other thing that I think is critical is where we distribute, because whenever I get an advertiser, I look at, okay, where can I place this magazine where his demographic is going to be picking it up? And one of the things that I strategically did was I got us into the PGA Superstore. And so I don't know the ratio of how many people call you for golf versus PT or whatever. You might be able to speak to that. But I felt like, because we're a small business, we can do that. We can put our magazines in locations that are going to be more advantageous for people. And maybe that's one of the things that, helped with the response. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I really don't know what it is, but it actually it's working. So it works equally as good for both the PT and for the golf. And I think the biggest part that you mentioned there, I didn't really even think about it until you just said it 2 minutes ago, was you're giving me a voice. You're allowing me to write an article versus every other newspaper that I've ever been in. We're designing this ad and that's all you really get. So I have to make the best out of a quarter page, a half page, a full page. Of course, the full page is 10 grand for the year. It's like, what the F is happening here? Versus in this magazine, every single issue I'm given 750,000 words, whatever it is, to communicate my voice, which I feel is very unique from other people's cookie cutter approach. And I think that that's what I don't think I actually know that that's what resonates now that we're talking about this out loud. Every single person that I've talked to, we just had one last week where he came in because he read my article, my physical therapy article, and it's a guy with foot issues, and he's had foot issues for years. And I get to the end of the phone call and I'm going, okay, well, what does success look like? And he goes, success looks like being able to wear more than one pair of shoes that don't hurt. And I'm going, that's almost a word for word for what I put in one of my articles.
Oh, that's funny. He just
Yeah.
repeated you.
Yeah. And a similar thing for one of my golf articles where a lady golfer just did a video testimonial with her a month ago that should be out on the website soon. She's 78 years old and she read my golf article in the magazine. And she goes, I'd used the tips that you gave me in that article and I was getting better. So I go, if I could get better from reading an article, how much better could I get if I actually go see the guy? And she ends up buying a package with me. And then she finishes the package and she buys another package. So that one person alone easily paid for my entire year marketing. Well, I don't know about entire year, but it was a good return on investment for one person for the golf business. So I
Yeah,
mean
I'm
it's
glad you mentioned that because I think practitioners don't think of it from that perspective as, okay, so you get one person from the magazine. What does that one person turn into? Maybe multiple sessions, like for you. Maybe she refers her husband or family member or friend, word of mouth, all of that. So that's the way you have to be thinking, like, okay, it's great if I get, like Teresa was my advertiser who talked to you that day. She's getting 60% of her business from the magazine. That's phenomenal. Maybe everybody's not going to have that kind of result, but it's kind of like the domino effect of you get one person from the magazine and then that person stays with you for years, let's say, or they start bringing in multiple more people.
Agreed.
Yeah, it's awesome. Well, I'm glad you've been getting such an awesome result. I wanted to hop on a quick little video here so you could talk to us a little bit about it. And, for people out there who are thinking about trying the magazine, I don't think there's anybody who's as skeptical as Jake. So, or at least who gave me as hard a time. But you know what? It was good because, it's you ask good hard questions, makes me think about, how what I do with the magazine, how can I keep making it better? How can I get more response for you guys? What do I do with our distribution, all that kind of good stuff. So this is a great story. So tell us just a little bit about you and how people can connect with you.
Okay, but don't you want to ask me what I would say to anybody listening to this who is also skeptical?
Yes, go ahead.
I don't want to glance over that 5 minute clip that we just talked about right there. The biggest difference with this magazine and everybody else is two things. One, it's the right demographic, but two, you're giving us a voice. So if you're a practitioner in whatever field it is, and you're a practitioner and you feel like you're different from everybody else, which hopefully we all do, but there is a lot of conformists. But if you think that you are different, you know that you're different, you want to communicate a message so that more people could hear it, you're giving us the platform to do that. And I think that that's truly the biggest thing is I'm able to tell a story every single quarter. I'm in charge of it and people read it. That's the biggest thing is people read it. So if you're skeptical about it, that's what I have to say for you there is it's worth it because you get to communicate a message. You're not confined to a quarter page print ad that sucks. It really sucks. It's the difference between branding and direct marketing, in my opinion. Ads are like branding. It's like a Nike check on a billboard. You can't see a return on investment from that, but when you tell a story, that's going to lead to the phone ringing. If it's a good story, it's still got to be a good story.
Yeah, yep, yep.
Does
Your
that
articles
help?
are awesome. For sure, for sure. And
Yeah,
we help. My editor is amazing. We help people with content. She even does some ghostwriting, but if you don't feel like, you are that good a writer, we do that on our end too. So that's
good.
awesome. Anything else you want to say?
No, about
Okay.
me for the physical therapy side, help you move better to avoid surgery and pain pills. It's that simple. We're not a cookie cutter clinic. No bullshit, no insurance. You get to pay for a quality care, something that you want versus something that you're given with an insurance-based clinic. So if you really want to avoid surgery and pain pills, come do it the right way. Don't beat around the bush and say, "Well, I got insurance, I need to pay, that needs to pay for it." Those days are over. People are getting smarter. You have to pay for your own health care. This is not 5 years ago. It's damn sure not 10 years ago. Get over it. Pull the wallet out. Spend money on your own health care. You've only got one flesh vessel. That's your body. You
Yep.
better make the best of it. Same thing for golf. Help you move better so that you can gain distance and improve consistency and play more frequently. It's all about senior golfers, helping them move better. So that's my little shout out, my plug for me.
Awesome. And your websites are?
BermanPT.com and BermanGolf.com.
Yep. Easy and simple. Awesome. And you do a great job. I've seen you for my own physical therapy. And I mean, literally, I noticed something immediately just in the way, like we work together and things that you pointed out for me. The fact that I was walking wrong, and I'm an exercise physiologist, terrible. But yeah, yeah, it was awesome. I highly recommend you for sure.
That's one of the most common things that people say is, I'm paying you how much money to teach me how to walk again?
It is crazy, but we forget.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And thanks for everybody who's listened to this. I hope you guys will reach out to us. You can find me at diane@essentialnaples.com. And our website is www.essentialnaples.com. Thanks again, Jake.
Yeah.